did you guys learn from last weekend against Arkansas you can carry over into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think you take a little bit of confidence from that, right? You have the kind of the number one team in the country come in and probably the best pitching staff in the country come in. And, we by no means dominated that pitching staff, but I thought we competed really hard against them. I thought we had as good of a plan against Hagen Smith as anybody's had all year. I thought those bullpen arms that were really good. We had some really tough at bats against them, and shoot, you win that one on Sunday, kind of extend it late, but the one on Saturday, I thought the ABs got better as the day went on. So I think there's some confidence you take from that. But this is kind of a whole different team when A&M coming in this year, or this weekend, just different. There are a lot of power bats. Bray Montgomery's special. Obviously, Lavallette's special, but there's some depth in that lineup too, and they can really pitch. So it's a little bit of a different challenge, but I think the boys show what they're capable of when they run off good plans and compete together.
And you guys are facing another number one team, so how do you guys embrace that challenge?
Yeah, I think, like I said, you hopefully draw a little bit from last weekend on the confidence that, hey, you can line up. And we play good baseball, we can go line up against anybody. But even last night showed you when you're not as hooked in or you're not as focused in some things, that you can get beat by anybody too. That's what makes this game incredibly frustrating, but also the best game there is. So yeah, I think we're going to go up and put a good plan together, have a good workout today, and get ready for the Aggies tomorrow.
And what stands out to you guys about Texas A&M?
I think just the depth of the lineup. Everybody knows, they're Grahovic, they're really superstar freshmen. Just guy can really hit. Obviously, Lavallette's made a name for himself in this league. Braden Montgomery made his name for himself in college baseball. But it's more than just those three. There's depth in that lineup, and you look at a veteran in a Pell transferring from Penn, a guy in Ted Burton who spent his whole career at Michigan is now with them. There's just depth to the lineup. It's just not get through the top three and you're good. There's some depth there. Then on the mound, they got a guy that can just really pitch on Friday. We're not going to see 98 on Friday from Prager like we did Hagen Smith, but it's just elite pitchability. He mixes pitches well. There's no real tells in certain counts. Just does a really good job. There's power in their bullpen. Ashenbeck's obviously had a good career at A&M. So just a lot of weapons. It's a really complete team, and I look at some teams, and Arkansas has such a great pitching staff, some really good hitters too, but this one just has a little bit more length, a little more depth to it. So, we're going to go out and see what we can do tomorrow and go try to compete with them and go from there.
And you guys are at home again this weekend, so what kind of advantage does that give you guys being in the show?
Yeah, obviously we've been pretty good at home. We've played pretty good baseball here. If you look at the rankings right now, we knock off Arkansas, who's number 2. You knock off Tennessee here, who's number 4. You had a top 15 team in South Carolina come in that we knocked off. So we've shown we can play good baseball here. And so that's what you got to feel good about. You do, if you're going to play the number 1 team, I can tell you what, I've been to College Station a lot. I'd much rather have the Ags here than there.
And what do you guys have to do to earn a series win against the Aggies?
Yeah, I think, the focus of our at-bats, I think, is something we brought a lot of attention to. We haven't commanded the strike zone as well in conference play, which some of that is just better stuff, right, than we see out of conference. But, we got to get on base at a more consistent level. That's what your whole offense and winning is predicated on, really getting on base. And one thing I thought we did a really good job of this weekend is we really just hunted balls in the damage zone, and if it wasn't there, we took them. Whether it was a ball or strike didn't matter. And, last night watching the game, we were in between on a lot of those things and didn't control that as much. So we're going to have to do a good job of forcing their arms to do what we want them to do. We pitched at a really high level last week, and that's going to be another key. It's a heck of a lot easier, when you're out there competing against these arms, when you're matching them on your side. And I thought those guys did a tremendous job last weekend. So, again, it's going to be a full team effort. Can we pitch? Can we play defense? Can we execute offensively?